What's up, y'all? All right, so today we're gonna go over all of the services that I offer and what it looks like to work with me as a coach. I feel like sometimes when you're embarking on your fitness journey, the biggest anxiety causing thing is the anticipation of not knowing what to expect, right? And it's such a long journey. Changing your body takes time, it takes dedication, it takes consistency, right? So it's sometimes it can feel like the day-to-day mundane tasks of like doing your workouts and hitting your macros and hitting your steps and drinking your water can all just kind of bleed together, and you feel like overwhelmed with the amount of responsibility, and you may not see results immediately. Let's talk about results. Let's talk about progress, because progress does not always equate to a transformation photo. If your body is not in a healthy place, then pushing too hard and pushing too far is going to do more harm than good. So sometimes, and I'm talking to a specific audience really here, but sometimes it's going to take a little bit of time to find the ebb and flow. And for a coach, from a coach's perspective, it's going to take me time to get to know your body with all of the different variables that we all have. You know, have you been a yo-yo dieter or a crash dieter your whole life? Have you tried every single fad in the book? Have you taken diet pills? Are you eating nothing but processed foods? Are you drinking nothing but soda? Are you sedentary? Like, all of these variables add up to basically we're going to have to tackle one habit at a time. There may be a time period where you don't have a transformation photo that you would want to share on social media. But in that time period, when you're creating that healthy foundation, when you're getting your body to a place where it's ready to start pushing and it's ready to start making changes, then those changes are going to come and they're going to be permanent, y'all. And that's our goal here. It's not, I want to get shredded in 6 weeks so that I can gain all the weight back and some in the next 6 months. Okay, that's not our goal here. Our goal is to teach you, to educate you on how to make sustainable, long-lasting habits, right? So just first and foremost, okay? Now, the first thing I'm going to go over before I go over, I offer 3 different services. But before I go over any of those, I want to go over the things that are mandatory for every single client, okay? If you decide to work with me, there are really only 2 things that will be mandatory, okay? The first thing will be check-in days. So this is implemented because we don't just trust the number on the scale. The number on a scale, if you've watched my YouTube video with Gist, you have heard this recently, but the number on the scale is just a tool, okay? If we're in a phase where we're ready to start shredding some body fat, that doesn't necessarily mean that that number on the scale is going to change drastically, okay? If you're in a place where you can build muscle and burn fat at the same time, then you may change your body composition without changing the weight on the scale. So check-in days are implemented so that we can talk about how's your mental health, how's your sleep, how's your water intake, how's your nutrition, how are you feeling during your workouts, what is your waist measurement. So check-in days are mandatory for every single client. I want to see progress photos. I want to see measurements of at least your waist, if not maybe thighs and chest. And then I want to see, I send you a check-in checklist, and there are a couple of questions on there, and I want to see answers to those questions as thoroughly as you can possibly answer them. It would be through text message or email or whatever avenue that we decide would be best for you. So number 2, the other mandatory thing that I would require of you as a client is videos of your sets, of your exercises. Now, this is going to be individual for every single client, right? So I don't need to see a video of every single second that you're working out. That's not necessary. Basically, the reason that I would want to see videos of your sets is so that I can see, is your form good? I can check if your form is not where it should be, what mobility drills do we need to work on to make sure that we can correct any imbalances that you've got going on in your body? Or maybe the cues that I gave you aren't clicking and we need to try something else. How intense are you pushing it? If we're, for example, if we're going through a strength phase together and you're supposed to be doing 5 reps, 5 sets of a challenging weight for that number of reps, and you're able to pump out 8 reps in a set, we need to bump the weight up, right? We're not being intense enough. So sometimes it's also one of those things, and I think I learned this the most by lifting with Brianna. What up, girl? Shout out. What I've learned lifting with other people, especially people who are willing to push me, is sometimes it can be really difficult to objectively decide for yourself if that was really your max, if that was really all you had to give. You know, there have been times where I've been lifting with Brianna that she's been like, girl, you have at least 3 more reps in the tank. Let's go. And I didn't know. I thought that was the end. I was done. I was so tired. And lo and behold, I kept going. I kept pumping. And so I feel like if I'm able to see you working and I can tell that it may be difficult in your head, but for me, I can see that you've got more left, then I know that it's okay for me to push you a little bit. Okay. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you're going too hard and then you're not able to recover, then we know that we need to bring it down a little bit, okay? So basically, those are the 2 things that are mandatory for any client. It doesn't matter where you are, where you're starting from, where you're going, what your goals are. I want you to check in with me once a week at least, and I want to see videos of your sets, okay? Let's get into it. Here we go. So the first service that I'm gonna go over here is kind of like a mixture of 2 different services, but it just kind of depends on where you live and what you're going for here, okay? So my virtual online coaching and programming services cost the same. It's $100 a month. If you are wanting full-on online coaching, but you do not live in Austin, Texas, and you want me to check in with you weekly, write your programs, correct your form on your video sets, and be there to help you through your day-to-day as your accountability, it's $100 a month. If you want me to write you a program that you can follow, but you do it on your own, then that's $100 a month. It's customized. I'm actually working right now on writing some general programs. So those would be a lot cheaper, obviously, because they're not going to be customized to your goals. They're just going to be general programs that anyone could follow if they want to do strength or hypertrophy or muscular endurance or whatever. So COVID's really put us in kind of an unprecedented time. So I understand that there are going to be some people out there who would rather work from home, and maybe you have limited equipment. That's okay. That's what I'm here for. That's what this service is for, is so that I can take your goals, your equipment, your fitness level, and create a program that works for you, and we can work together until we make all the tweaks that are necessary. And yeah, so that's the first service. The second service is nutrition. So for this one, it's $150 a month. I'm going to iterate this very clearly. I do not do meal plans. I'm not going to tell you what foods to eat. With nutrition, what you're getting is me educating you on how food works. This is stuff like macros, nutrients, caloric intake, how you work with your food to create a relationship that fuels your body without food being the enemy. Okay, so if you have no idea what macros or caloric intake means, you need some educating. And there's a lot of information out there. Gist is actually working on, we're trying to make as much content as possible right now so that we can educate you on how to navigate food. But if you want someone to help walk you through the day-to-day and give you one-on-one customizable nutrition education, that's what this service is for. It's $150 a month, and you get access to me 24/7. Okay? Last, not least, in person. So this one is probably going to be more for people who are comfortable with coming to my home. It is also more for obviously people who live in Austin, Texas, or in the surrounding areas that would be willing to drive here. I charge $50 per session, and I would program the workouts for those sessions based on your goals, right? So that's it, guys. That's all of the services that I offer, and what it would look like to work with me as a coach. You would get check-ins weekly. You would have access to me almost 24/7. I do go to bed very early. My brain starts to shut down around 7:30 p.m. and I'm probably in bed before 9. I get up around anywhere between 5 and 6 a.m. So that's still a good amount of time that you would have access to me to ask questions or check your form on your exercises, or if you just need a little encouragement for the day, or if you need somebody to just kick you in the butt and tell you to get up and get going. That's what you're paying for me to educate you, to encourage you, to support you so that you know you got this. So if you're interested, please DM me or email me. I put my email down below, and I can't wait to hear from you, and I can't wait to help you along your journey. I hope y'all have an absolutely wonderful hump day, and I will talk to you all very, very soon.